much. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you have a nice nappy, okay? I'll see you later. So Don and I are headed to the Tesla owners breakfast meeting this morning. And we're up just a little earlier than normal for a Saturday. And not too much. We have on our orange for the month of October Halloween. We're all coordinated. Right. Donnie's such a good boy.
That's right.
He always asks me what he should wear. I like it. So we're on the way to the Tesla meeting, and there's two other Teslas right here with us on I-40. We're just guessing it's probably where they're headed to.
Yeah.
So I know there's no way this is happening, but this is about where I start salivating that maybe, just maybe, they'd surprise us and there'd be a Model 3 up there, you know?
Right.
I know, a girl can dream, right?
A girl can dream.
And so can a guy. We'll see. All right, so we're all waiting in the line for the catered breakfast. There's a lot of people up here today. What's there, like 50, 70?
No, 30, 40 maybe.
Okay, I can't estimate. Yeah, customers. There's a good number of people for this tinier building, yep. So it's a really good show. That's great. Wow, that is so cool. So if you're going to print out and use the AR app to get the Model 3, business card stock or card stock is really makes for a really great way to do it. We were just using paper the last time I demoed it, and wow, look at the detail inside. Oh wow. That's too awesome.
Commissioner of the DMV, Tori Jessup, expressing your desire to be able to buy the car you want to buy the way that you would like to buy it, which in the case of Tesla has chosen to use web sales and internet sales. So please let people of North Carolina decide how they'd like to buy their cars. That you don't really need the commissioner of the DMV telling you how you're going to buy your car. All Teslas are relatively expensive, and I would hope that if you're going to make that kind of financial decision, you're capable of understanding the pros and cons of doing an internet type thing. But apparently, the commissioner of the DMV thinks you're not smart enough for that. You need help deciding how to buy your car. So please send him. He's just a state employee.
Not elected.
His job was a political appointee. He was Secretary of Transportation for the state of North Carolina, appointed him to his position. But he himself is just a state employee. He made this arbitrary decision he was appointed July 6th this year. The prior commissioner, according to the article, was okay with test drives and ride-alongs in Charlotte. But this guy, he doesn't have anything else to do. Gets into office. Tori Jessup.
No, what's he saying that he wants?
He didn't explain why in the article. He did not provide a reason that we were made aware of. Yeah.
The Charlotte Gallery can no longer give test rides.
Asked not to give.
And ride-alongs. So if you go to Charlotte, I guess they can show you the colors and things of this nature, but you can no longer get a test ride in Charlotte. You have to come to Raleigh to get a test ride.
Or ask a local owner.
The traditional dealerships are against the Tesla sales.
Everything I just said was what I gathered from reading the internet articles. Nobody in this place said anything about this to me. It's just my personal feelings were expressed.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing.
So like I said, we had a really good turnout this morning of Tesla owners for the little breakfast social and information sharing session. There are, of course, a lot of S's and X's here in the parking lot. It's nice to see so many in one spot. I thought I'd come out and just, there's Ruby, grab a couple of pictures before everybody decided to take off for the day. I just love seeing all these cars in one place.
Is that an older person?
I keep telling Donnie I like the blue. We have one red car already. I think our next Tesla should be blue. we're good.
Jump in the Ludicrous Plus.
Yeah, every time I get one of the loaner service vehicles, I want to, but I'm too timid. It's not my car, you know, I just, yeah.
All right, so if you come over here, you can see the temperature gauge and launch mode.
All right.
All right, ready?
I'm very ready. I love it. That's great. That's awesome.
0 to 60 in 2.3 according to Motor Trend.
Okay. And have you done a little verification with the phone app or something?
I've done some personal testing.
Okay. I bet you have. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
What an awesome experience getting launched in Elon's former engineering car. That was just exhilarating. Loved it. Yep. So this S and this X are headed home with new families today. That is so awesome. I love the little sign. We are waiting to go home with our eager families. Please do not touch. Yeah. And everyone was real respectful of the cars in here today, but they're just looking fabulous. I remember how exciting our delivery day was. I hope these families have an awesome day too. What an experience today at the Tesla owners' little breakfast meeting here. It was met a lot of great people.
Yep.
You go, Donnie. You say what you want to say.
Yeah, well, you know, it was they updated us on the plans of service, and you know, they're totally on board with knowing that Model 3 is going to increase this demand for service and stuff like that. So they're making plans to make sure that that works. Is going to be a great experience for everybody, existing owners, Model X and S, and the Model 3s. And you know, they talked about the new sales. They're hoping to get in here first quarter next year, possibly. They don't know the exact date, but they're working on getting a new sales office here in Raleigh. It was good. You know, nice semi-annual or twice annual update.
Yep, it was great. We talked with so many wonderful people today.
Right.
We talked with S and X owners. We talked with a couple of potential X owners out in the parking lot at the end of the meeting. Yep. Don and I like talking with people, so that was easy. Don got to talk battery efficiency with a couple of folks. Right. I got to talk vlogging with a few more folks.
Oh yeah, she was a hit. I mean, I think just about everybody has seen Marianne's blog, so she was really stoked with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, that was unexpected and much appreciated, and really enjoyed networking with everybody up here today. So Don and I will be at the next one. Yep, for sure.
Yep.
So I do want to be really careful not to say anything that could get anyone in trouble, or show anything in today's video that could get anyone in trouble, and you know, just everything be on the up and up, because you know, really like that team up there at Raleigh. So but I don't think it's a secret that they're working on a supercharger in Hickory. That's in the plans coming up, that they are working on a new, as Don said, larger gallery, sales office, showroom. I'm not sure the right terminology, but for Raleigh they said, you know, maybe next quarter sometime, and now we would be impressed with it. The plans are for something pretty spiffy, so that'll be awesome. We'll be going eventually to one of these breakfasts at that location.
Yeah, the thing I would say is, you could tell that the Raleigh, they have plans to increase their presence as much as they can in the Raleigh area. In other words, Raleigh is an important area for them. Expecting a lot. I guess they got a lot of pre-orders, because remember, on March 31st, 2016, I and probably 350, 400 people were in line here in Raleigh to sign up for a first day Model 3 reservation. So, I mean, it was popular.
Yeah, so that could significantly increase both sales and service in the Raleigh area. And as Don had said, today's owner presentation was mostly focused around how Tesla was going to address improving service. Now, I don't think, you know, here in Raleigh, service is great. So, you know, improvement, but, you know, just to be ready for Model 3, over-the-air updates, more things they can fix that might be software glitches from the service center without you having to actually go to the service center, things like that. Some more mobile Ranger service to folks. There was one guy there that had had a mobile Ranger experience and said it was really great. Not to be, you know, concerned if you need that. So yeah, today's meeting was really focused on improvements Tesla's going to make. And I did take some screen shots, some pictures of a few of the screens that I'll review later on. But I was sort of at the back, and they're not going to, you know, there are people in the way sort of the screen. But yeah, so that was today's meeting. So before we knew about the owner's breakfast this morning, Don and I had planned to go down to Wilmington today, and there's a train show down there at the train museum, and I've been wanting to check out the new Wilmington Supercharger and maybe go for some seafood and just, you know, spend a little time with Donnie on the weekend when we don't have the boys, and you know, we can be just a little bit more flexible about our comings and goings and what time we eat and that kind of thing. So
Are we there yet?
Yeah, exactly. No, the boys are pretty good at traveling, honestly. But Don says, so we're going to head down that way. It's 12:30. We got plenty of time. It's, you know, a couple hours down there. Don says the one thing he knows we're going to do is
visit the Supercharger.
Right, because we're going to get down there at like 14% charge or something, which is plenty cushion. You know, Donnie, don't drive 85 on 40 down to the beach today. Somebody's always driving fast on that strip of road. There's hardly anything out there in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, we'll probably try to check out the train show and grab some seafood before we head back. I did pile some extra food up for the kiddies this morning, so they'll be good until we get home. And the only thing that could be better is it looks like this out there today. And since weather moves from west to east in North Carolina, chances are it's also pretty cloudy down at the coast. It was supposed to be clearing, but it will be clearing from the west. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see the sunshine down there. Maybe we won't. So, we're on the north side of Raleigh on the Beltline, fixing to get off 440 back onto I-40 east to head to the beach. It says it's about a 2-hour trip. With 131 miles. That sounds about right from what I know. I just generally plugged in Wilmington, not a specific location. Or maybe I did put the Supercharger. I don't remember. Yeah, just someplace. But it's showing us getting down there with 9%. So like I said, Donnie, don't be going 85. Yeah, okay. So there's the Supercharger. Should I just plug in, navigate to the Supercharger?
Yeah, you should probably do that.
Yeah, let's see what it says. So yeah, it says we'll get to the Supercharger with 14%. Although I have to say that when you first plug in any navigational thing, you really got to give it 2 or 3 minutes before I think you can count on exactly the, it must double check and make sure the numbers are all right. But yeah, it's saying 14%, so we're good. So the deal is, Donnie, we watch this, and as long as it shows us still getting there all right, we're good? Is that what how this screen is useful for?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to show what your current and your projected or something, you know, based on what it thinks. In other words, the computer thinks it's going to take this, you'll arrive with this percentage, and then what you're actually burning up. Actually using the line up here, and basically the goal is to stay pretty close, keep those two lines pretty close, and if you do, then you'll be able to make it. In other words, this thing says we'll make it with 14%, and right now, if the dot were right on what it's estimating, if you notice the little dot is us, that's we're good, we're on the line. In other words, what it used to calculate that we would arrive
we're sticking with it.
We're sticking with it, okay. That's right. Its estimate and what I'm actually doing are the same.
sort of surprising, but we've just been seeing a lot of cars traveling west today, and in the middle of the day, not like at the end of the day or something. Just a lot of traffic coming out of the Wilmington area. I have to wonder why that is on a Saturday afternoon. Now on a Sunday afternoon, that makes more sense to me. People go down to the beach for the weekend and then they come back Sunday night.
Yeah, the NC State game was at noon today, so these people aren't going to the football game. And I don't know what time the Carolina or Duke game is. Yeah, I, like Marianne, I had noticed that there was actually a traffic jam on the other side because the traffic was so heavy. And now it's like there's a lot of volume of cars. It's thinned out on our side a little bit, but the other side, what would that be, westbound, seems to be quite heavy.
And we're doing good on our trip range mileage so far.
Increasing.
Yeah, well, it was up to 16, now down to 15. I mean, you expect small fluctuations. We're in a 75 zone and we're doing 75. Is that right?
We're in a 70 zone and we're doing 75.
Yeah, so we're doing fine. Well, the closer we get to the beach, the bluer the sky gets. I'm surprised, but pleased. Yep, it's looking nice out there. To give us optimal time at the train museum, Don and I are trying to figure out if we can go to the train museum first and worry about supercharging afterward. So the short answer is we think so. We think we can go to the train museum. It's only about 6 miles from our current location, and see the trains and then go to the supercharger. So Don said he used autopilot the entire distance between Raleigh and us coming into Wilmington here. And he got out of autopilot because we're making some turns now, but yep, the whole way down. That's pretty cool. That's got to be our longest sustained autopilot trip.
Yeah, and I would say it was very comfortable this time. I didn't have that trouble. It was let me do a lighter touch on the wheel than I remember from the other times. I didn't have to work at it to let it know that I had my hand on the wheel. You know, in past times I had to really jiggle the wheel, consciously jiggle the wheel a lot, but this time I didn't really do that.
I fell asleep and took a little nap on him. That AI book is interesting, but I probably would have fallen asleep early afternoon anyway. Well, because of the train show today, the parking lot there is pretty darn full. So we're installing the pay by phone app so we can park here at this meter. I've only got $1 in quarters and it's $1.25 an hour. We're probably going to be here a couple hours, so you know, this street parking spot seemed a little safer for Ruby than some of the other very crowded alternatives. So Don and I had a race and his Android phone won. The app installed much faster over there. We don't care which app we use to buy the parking time, just want to get down to the train museum, but we're all set.
Yep.
let's go.
Really slow.
So that funny rake-looking contraption in the background was used to pass orders, so the train didn't have to stop completely, or from down on the ground they could pass the orders up to the engineer. That's really pretty cool. I'd never seen that before. Don and I were really admiring the neat and fancy numbering here. It almost looks like script. It's just really impressive. We both decided that neither of us would be hired for this particular job. Our handwriting's not so neat.
And it's ink.
Yeah, it's permanent. This is pretty fascinating. It is a Play School Sleep Dolly sleep set from 1938. So I guess if you were affluent and taking your child on the train, maybe you would have given them this toy and some passengers to play with along the way. I never can remember or understand the train scale sizes, but this display really puts it into perspective for you. They have a very large and elaborate model railroad here. It's pretty significant. Men build, kids play. Kids big and small.
How cool is that?
That's pretty darn cool.
Seeing it.
Wow, this whole room is model trains. That is really impressive. All right, Dave Vollmer, your model railroad needs one of these. Wow, that's really exciting. This is cool. The train, the little model train, has its own personal video camera up here on the screen. That's pretty neat. So here are some early construction pictures of this layout from 2007. It really is impressive, the amount of time and detail that went into it. So this is another layout in another room, and it's all Wilmington stuff. This one's kind of at adult height, and it's pretty elaborate. The cotton exchange is over here, which of course is now a shopping and retail down here by the waterfront. But really cool layout. Always appreciate the detail that's put into these. Yep, you can go now. This is an old steam engine.
1910 locomotive.
Wouldn't have wanted to have been up here when it was actually running because
Well, you're gonna have to go out on the street and get the picture up this way.
all right. So that's where the coal goes. Imagine it was right hot and dirty and everything else up here. All right. All right, Engineer Don. It's about 4:40 p.m. and Dawn and I are starving. We haven't had anything since the breakfast this morning, and we're here at the Pilot House on the waterfront in Wilmington.
Yeah, while we're sitting here at this table, we can see the USS North Carolina, the battleship over there. I can see the superstructure. I can see a couple of funnels and things like that, but we're really close to the battleship.
It's really nice out here on the riverfront this evening. It's cool, it's overcast. We're not baking in the heat for the first time in weeks. It's pleasant.
Yeah.
We're walking off dinner before we get in the car. It's nice. So this is the outside of the restaurant, which is basically in an older residence. So there's the North Carolina battleship. We can actually see a good bit more of her now. We've toured it before. It's very interesting if you've never been there and you're in the area. Okay, Michelle, here's what you need. It's a little bit of a twist on the knitted mermaid tail blankets. Pretty cool, huh? As we've gotten in and out of the car today, I really wish you could configure the car that when it detects the key fob and opens the driver's door, that it would also open the passenger door. And I guess the same be said as when the driver hits the brake pedal, that it closes both front doors if you want. Not for everybody, but just like on a night out with couples, you know, it's just kind of be convenient.
Yep.
Add that to my wish list of minor, non-necessary changes I'd love to see to the software.
Yep.
So Dawn has programmed in the supercharger. It's just, I guess it's 10 miles away. It says we'll get there with 9% range. We're good.
Our sand colored, that was the new courthouse. We're gonna get in front of that. I mean, look at the number of buildings. I mean, look how big.
And then this is City Hall, was there on our right. All right, so we're getting close to the Wilmington Supercharger. We're on Military Cutoff right now, which I know is a road that runs between Wrightsville Beach and downtown Wilmington. It's a pretty popular cut-through road, that and Oleander. Dawn says we're gonna turn right on Main Street, and then it's pretty much right there, so.
Yeah, I think it's up with this traffic light coming up. It says 0.2 miles.
Don made a comment that he sure is glad cars that are electric and need superchargers have GPS, because otherwise finding the charging stations might be a little tricky.
Right.
But with it built right into the screen, it takes us right there. It's no problem at all.
So it's somewhere in this shopping center.
Ah, okay.
It wants me to go forward 100 feet, and there it wants me to turn left.
Left now. But how did he really? Oh yeah, there they are.
I saw them.
Yep, pretty cool.
Now we can walk over to Starbucks and get you a coffee.
Oh yeah.
We can do the Tesla thing.
Yeah, I guess people are probably pretty happy about this particular location. There is a lot of shopping, bathrooms, you know, places to throw away trash and all of that good stuff here.
Right.
And there is only one other car charging right now, a black S, pre-facelift.
We'll just get on 2 over here.
125 miles an hour right now, Donnie.
How much?
125, 133. Yeah, like I told the kids at the school the other day, at the supercharger, it charges fast.
Yeah, but it's only doing 64 kilowatts right now. That's showing. That's the important thing.
Wanna go?
All right, Donnie's getting excited now. We're up to 100 kilowatt hours, baby.
Triple-digit
Kilowatts, yep.
Triple digits. 106, 108, 110. Come on, baby. Can we see 115? Come on now. I want 120, baby. 120. Come on. 112. Come on now. 111. All right. 110. 111. That's good. I'm happy now.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like it hasn't updated the 1 hour remaining thing, but maybe eventually it would. And just to be clear, we don't need 80% to get home. I'm sure that's an estimation on our bar is still set at our typical 80%. So,
Right.
and we don't need that much range to get to the house. That's over 200 miles, and we need about 140, something like that.
Right. We're gonna probably just let it charge until we get back.
So, we gonna go get ice cream?
Yeah, we're gonna go get something like that. That's for sure.
Okay.
While they actually unpack the Reese's peanut butter cups, I mean, it's not like dipped or anything. They're actually taking them out of the
wrapper, huh? So Don and I did a very short walk over to Cold Stone Creamery and are treating ourselves to the dessert that we didn't have with dinner.
Stop.
And Don says, while you're looking at the app, do not accidentally stop the charging, which I did one time before, but going quick. So about 15 minutes later, we finished our ice cream. Boy, was that good. Too much, but it was good. And Ruby already has 185 miles worth of range. It's only been about 15 minutes, so by the time we wash up and walk back over to the car, we'll be ready to head home.
Yeah.
No additional waiting necessary.
No.
We were thinking though that all this supercharging might not be good for our waistline if every time we supercharge we look for ice cream.
Yeah, it's gonna be hazardous to my belt.
Yeah, but it's date night. I told him it was a good excuse for this time. I'm in Claire's. Now I miss my kitties. All right, we're back. And we have another Tesla, a red S, is now charging. We took a little loop around. This is a really nice shopping area. There's a theater here, although of course your car will charge faster than you could watch a movie, but still.
Yeah, there's a steakhouse.
Longhorn Steakhouse. And
Starving me to death.
yeah, even though we've had dinner and ice cream and we're totally stuffed, the steakhouse smell is it's really good. Hi, it's Marianne and Dawn, and we're here at the Wilmington, North Carolina Supercharger. It's in the Mayfair Town Center, and there's lots of things to do while you supercharge your car.
Yeah, 10 stalls, including one that you can pull into.
Yep, there's a Longhorn Steakhouse, a Starbucks, a Cold Stone Creamery, which we enjoyed some awesome ice cream, Atlanta Bread, and several other places to eat, not to mention a movie theater. So
this place is hazardous to your waistline.
And possibly your budget. There's a Talbot's, a Williams in Sonoma, a Hallmark store. I mean, easy to occupy yourself while you supercharge your car at this location.
Yes, I'd give this a 10.
Yeah, me too. Exactly.
Easy to get to.
Old supercharger.
Yeah, you'd like to see this out by the carport, right?
Please, just this one. It isn't very big. I can take it with me.
Yeah, that's funny. Don's always such a good sport and very helpful with my videos. Thank you, Donnie.
Love them.
Alright, so we're fixing to stop charging. No reason to continue. We have more than enough to get home. We just casually went and got ice cream, took a short stroll back to the car, and we're ready to roll. So Ruby says we'll be home in 2 hours and 18 minutes, 9:23 p.m. It's 124 miles. We'll get there and we'll have 42% battery left, so we're rocking. So this crazy navigation system wants us to not take I-40 home, but to take like NC 133 and 401 back up to the house. We think not.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's basically insane. So I brought Google Maps up on my phone, and it says to take I-40, it looks like all the way home, and it's an hour and 45 minutes, 116 miles. So the car is, now that we've gotten past those initial turns we could have taken, says to stay on I-40 up to I-95 and then take I-95 over. The car said, or my phone says that's 9 minutes slower. So I don't know. We often find that it directs us in odd ways. I don't understand. But the only thing that sometimes makes sense for us is to get off it's like exit 325 or something for Highway 210 and to cut over through Angier up into Fuquay. But it's not very much faster than going on Highway 42. So yeah, I don't know. All right, if I'm going to be working on my tomorrow's video for 2 hours after I get home, I need a nap before we get to the house, or I'm not going to make it once we get there. So yeah, Donnie's driving, and the seat's pretty comfortable. Recline pack.
Actually, Ruby is driving. I'm just sitting here watching her.
Right. Ruby's on autopilot. This, you know, this is like a piece of cake for Ruby going down straight I-40. Well, we've made it home in really good time. We're just a few miles from the house, and it's 8:57 p.m. But I informed Don that I don't have my daily Pokemon streak, and he's got to, you know, pull over and let me catch a Pokestop. He said I was messing up his time, his navigation. I'm messing it up.
This Tesla chart details our charging experience in Wilmington, where we started out at 8% and finished up at 83%. This map from Tesla shows our trip today from home up to Tesla Raleigh, and then down to the beach, and then back. This Tesla output shows that we had 6 separate driving experiences today for a total of 320 miles with an average of 342 watt-hours per mile. You'll notice here that while the trip cost $7.68, it really only cost us 30 cents because we used the supercharger.